Well, I think there are three processes that have been taking place in this, what I think is a very historic year and session. The most important achievement is the agreement on the new development agenda, the Sustainable Development Agenda 2015-2030. This is a holistic, inclusive, transformative, and really big agenda to develop the world, because it encompasses all the three dimensions of development, the social, the developmental, and the environmental. So that's the main achievement. But the second, and I think most important process is that you can have all these grand plans, but if you don't find the wherewithal, the money to finance this agenda, then it remains on the piece of paper it's written. So we've been successful in putting together a financing for development conference and framework. And this took place in July in Addis Ababa. It was extremely successful. So I'm delighted that those two main processes have been successful in the same year, but maybe not in the same session. I hope that we can reach agreement in Paris in December on climate change. Yeah.
And how is Africa, for example, likely to benefit from that?
You see, the Sustainable Development Agenda is largely for developing countries. And so Africa comes in as a developing country. But also within that agenda, there are programs for landlocked countries, least developed countries, and that are of a special nature and are receiving special attention under this framework. For example, in the case of landlocked, least developed countries, the commitment to ODA, official development assistance, for that group of countries will be cut out, and it will be 0.15% to 2.20% of GNI of developed countries. So there are specific areas, but there are also broad and general areas that this whole agenda encompasses, from which Africa will benefit.
Let's talk about the reform of the United Nations Security Council. President Robert Mugabe, for 1 year after year, he has been calling for the reform of the Security Council and saying at least one or two countries from Africa must be included in the Security Council. What is your take on that?
Well, it's actually not President Mugabe alone. It's presidents all over the world. Since 2005, they have demanded for immediate reform of the Security Council. And it's quite right, because we now, for example, coming to this is our 70th anniversary since the formation of the United Nations. When the United Nations was formed, it consisted of only 51 countries. We are now 193. There has been a whole change in the entire geopolitical situation worldwide. The Cold War has ended. We are now facing a completely different paradigm. So there is need to make the United Nations and Security Council fit for purpose. And how do you make it fit for purpose? You make sure that it is reformed to be able to take on the challenges of modern day world. So it's been a call by all, but over the years, all presidents, but over the years, since this call has been made, we have been restating our position. Africa restates its position. The G4 restate their position. United for Consensus state their position. Other groupings state their own position. But there has never been negotiations. And indeed, what was envisaged was that there would be an intergovernmental negotiating body. Now, over these years, 20 years, it has done everything except negotiate. Yes, so what we've done this year, and I think it's just a small step forward, but an extremely necessary and important step, is to have a text on which negotiations will be based. So we're going to have text-based negotiations. And I think it's a significant step forward. So for Africa, to answer your question directly, it is out of these negotiations, because negotiations refer to numbers of the members of Security Council, its relationship with the General Assembly, and the management of the entire peace and security architecture. So whether it will be 2 seats or will be 1 seat, it will come out of these negotiations. Yes.